Karin van der Brandt. Together with Alex, we run the studio Leslie-Moore, and we started in 2004, a long time ago.
I'm Alex Clay. Karin and I studied together at the Art Academy in Arnhem. So we already did some projects together there, and we have worked together at an agency together. And at a certain point, we just thought, let's create an agency together, which we called Leslie Moore, which is our pseudonym for our company. It could be a man, it could be a woman. It sort of represents our thinking about less is more. So it's like a guiding principle for us through all our projects to try to get to the core of what the solution should be, basically.
Yeah, I think main focus in Arnhem was on concept, so less about form. So we were thought that each design starts with a question, and from there you develop a concept, and the form derived from that concept. And I think that's something which we still like working in that way. So for me it was a good basic of how you can look at a question. So for me that's a sort of a timeless way of designing. And I wonder if education can attribute to, because there's a lot of change going on in the last couple of years. So I think it's also not only education, but also you as a designer need to make sure that you keep up to date and that you are aware of at what's happening. So I don't see it only as that there's a large task for education to deal with its change.
But I think, I think what you said, because Arnhem was quite analytical, so approaching design from an analytical point, and then developing a concept based on that analysis. And I think that is, like I said, timeless.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I would say yes, because every new time will have new questions, but it's about trying to understand it and trying to think what can be my answer to it, regardless of technique or trends, I think.
It is nice also if I connect it to your previous question, because there we also started with a question. From there came the concept, and we used quite a lot of new technology to in the end to make that concept work in practice. So it's sort of a holistic thing, of course, that you as a designer need to be aware of, that if you start with a concept, then you have different kinds of tools to make it visible. Maybe about Mijn stem is groen.
So first, the title of the project is Mijn stem is groen, which translates to English, my voice or vote is green. So stem in Dutch means both voice and vote. So we thought that was a nice thing to work with. Before that, we were struggling with what can you as a designer do in this time we're in, where we see the ecological crisis. What can we do? Can we do more than just using recycled paper for our publications? So we have been struggling with that question quite a lot. And then we saw a Dutch lawyer which talked about this, which had in a way the same struggles, and his conclusion was, well, I can stop eating meat, I can drive electric cars, I can do all those things, but it will be a very minimal change in the world. So the real change I can make if I use my skill as a lawyer, then I can really make a bigger change. Of course, doing on an individual level, doing what you can, but also more than that, using your individual skills, which you are good in, and then you can scale up maybe more. So he started to work for a Dutch organization, which ended up suing the Dutch state, and they won, and also Shell, the company, they won these court cases, but he put his expertise into that. So then we were thinking, we really that resonated with us. Like, use your own skills and maybe make more waves, so to speak. So then we thought, well, we are designers. What are our skills? How can we use them? That was kind of our first conclusion, and then that led to this project.
Yeah, then the elections came up, the Dutch elections, and so combined with our that we were eager to make a difference within this whole climate crisis topic. We also thought about, it's nice that we can vote, we the adults, but in the end it's the children from now that will end up with also the votes the how the politics are behaving now has effect on our kids,
especially when it comes to climate change, because there are slow processes. So the choices we make today have a consequence for when they are adult and their children.
Yeah. So it was a sort of 1 and 1 is 3 idea. So what if we facilitate something for kids to also vote in their own way, in their own that they can have also a voice in this whole climate problem, but also that they have a vote, that they can use literally their voice in this whole election era. So what we developed was a tool, a website tool, and they could literally say, mijn stem is groen, so I will vote for green and my voice is green, and together with some other people, more technical people, they created this tool where their voice was literally translated into
like a shape, like the sound bars. These when you have a sound, it goes up. So the sound of the voice of the kid was translated into a shape, which became like the body of an avatar. So their voice created the avatar, and as a starting point, and then they could, in the web app, they could add eyes, legs, different kind of hats and animals to it to create their own kind of green avatar, and every one of those avatars would join a bigger kind of march parade. So all the avatars were ending up in the collection of all the other avatars, which were the voices of all these kids. So
so the end result, if you would log in the website, then you would see a march of all these different avatars, and they all look different because some kids they were angry and they screamed, "Mijn stem is groen!" So the avatar was like crazy, but some were more silent. So you had all different types of avatars for each of their voices, and they were able to to make different types of eyes, and also we had props like a demonstration board or things like that. So you could see a big march of all these avatars, and individually you could tap on them and you could hear the kid's voice. And next to that we also worked with artists, because if you have a march or demonstration, you have to have a song to demonstrate. So we work with musicians, and they made I think a fantastic song for the kids to also to sing it, and you could also hear it on the website.
Yeah,
so
and the kids also took part in the song. So we kind of made it became this kind of collaboration between intergenerational collaboration. We also used our own kids. I have 2 kids, Karin has 2 kids, and we had a lot of people working around, and we used them also as a test group to see, does it intuitively work? Do they understand how to take the different steps with shouting and then dressing their avatar, stuff like that. So it was also very fulfilling and fun to do with the kids, that they kind of became part of the design team, so to speak. And they said like, we think that's stupid. Okay, then we took away that, and we
want to have more different eyes, or they
more
really
props.
like to dress their avatars.
This was self-initiated. So we made we set up a small budget from our own money. We thought it would be just also to not be depending on organizations. I must say, most people were just coming up with their spare time. They were just eager.
Volunteered.
Yeah, that was very interesting to see that actually when we told people the idea, for instance, the musicians or the developers, are you interested in helping out? They were like, yes, I really want to help out, because this is exactly what I'm also been struggling with. I want to do something, but I don't know what to do. So it was super nice to see that people actually were more than willing to spend their time on it. So we had some expenses developing that web app was of course so many hours. We had to cover some expenses for those people, but everybody did it really very voluntarily.
Yeah, and also the artists we work with, they are like well-known artists in the Netherlands, Ruben Heijn and Sabrina Stark.
Yeah.
And also the producer Simon. They just volunteered, and what Alex said, they were so happy that they finally could also with their own skills were able to do something. And that was so nice to have this whole collective of people, and also with the kids. So that was a very nice project to work on.
And we tried to see what kind of effect can it have, more than just engaging those kids. So we tried to connect with some politicians. Our thinking behind it was that if we can show politicians that there is a voice out there, which also there are people out there which really care for this, and also the next generation of kids, it can kind of also visualize the fact that we're talking about slow translation or slow transitions, but you can kind of, if you look at the kid and you know they are going to face those problems, then it might become more kind of urgent. And we got quite some nice response. Also, actually, the current minister of climate, Rob Jetten, he reacted very positively to this campaign. And I mean, you don't know what exactly the effect can have, but I believe that if everybody does their bit, and together, the politicians might feel also that they have like support enough in the population to maybe take some decisions which are tough decisions. But I think that is, personally, I believe that is a problem for many politicians, that they don't know if they have enough support. So if we show them that the support is there, then they are maybe daring to take unpopular decisions to really make a change. We're really looking to also take a next step with this project. We think that there's a lot of room for improvement also. We would like to maybe involve the kids even more. That they are maybe more than the first edition driving the design process, being that we are more on the background, so that it becomes more and more a project for kids.
Yeah, I think now we aimed on the age of, I think like primary school, and it would be interesting to see if the project can be more for like teenage kids, because they are also more aware of the that it's very necessary to talk about it and act. And so it's something, of course we need to create space in next to our running projects for this, but that would be a nice follow-up.
We are Lesley Moore is just the two of us, and we have made a quite conscious choice to just stay small, because that opens up even the necessity to work together with other people. So you kind of per project you look for what kind of people would we like to work together with, and I think we don't know how it is in other cities, but I think in the Netherlands there is a very good culture for collaboration. I think generally the Netherlands it doesn't have a lot of hierarchy, so it's everybody's kind of is the same kind of thing. So it's that makes it, I think, easier to work together. There are quite a lot of people like working independent designers, independent makers working on their own. So they are also depending on kind of working together with other people on various projects.
Yeah, and I also think that clients, or at least the clients we work with, they are not afraid to work with a small team. So more and more they choose also not for the big agencies, but for like small teams, so they can have a one-on-one conversation, and they know if we have our first talk with them, then we will have them all the time sitting at the table, but also sitting behind the design table, to say. So yeah, it's interesting because we had a couple of very big clients that we in the beginning were like, are they really choosing like us? Because it's a big question they have, but I think it's we have a interesting network of people we work for a long time, and also a couple of clients, they have an in-house design team, which is also very nice, because then we also like to together with them see how can we help you to make sure that the quality stays on a high level. So I think we really like this co-creation, or to have, and also because we learn from each new assignment, so we keep learning and we keep meeting new people in that sense.
Yeah, also the space which we are now is our working space, but we share it together with an architecture studio and also a couple of other small agencies which, for instance, make model making, or there's a company creating bricks from building waste. So you have like a mix of different companies working together, which also we sometimes work with each other, do projects with each other. So I guess that's also the beauty of graphic design, is that you always you connect with somebody else and you learn from it, and yeah, it's that way you stay fresh. And also, if you work with new people, also kind of yeah, you have to also sometimes rethink the way you have done things, or you learn from the people you work with. So we like that model a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, because also it keeps us that we keep developing as a designer. So we are not a manager of a team, but we are the designers. We also a client we see as part of the team. So it's it worked for almost 18, 19 years now. So
yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, so that's like a side project, but a very nice side project. Actually, the two of the other founders are our former bosses. So Karin and I used to work for Design Politie, which is run by Richard van der Laken and Pepijn Zuurburg. They were asked to do a visual column in the Dutch newspaper, the Volkskrant, but it was a daily visual column, so they knew, well, it's crazy to do this, so they asked a couple of people to come to join. So we joined, and Herman van Bostle joined, and we started in 2006. And since then we have been making these visual columns, and now it's a weekly column in the magazine De Groene Amsterdammer, which is, I think what is unique about the project is that we have always, in the whole history of Gorilla, we have had no restrictions. So the Volkskrant were always giving us total freedom, even though we were at the front page of the newspaper. And the same now in the Groene Amsterdammer, which is maybe the best, I think, weekly critical magazine in the Netherlands. One of the few which have upcoming subscription numbers, with a lot of great writers. We also have total freedom. And that's of course a responsibility also, but it's special. I think also in the last, again, changing times where these things are under pressure, it's something which we really, we're very lucky to have that position. And I think what is interesting about the project is almost like an alternative timeline of how the world has been changing. So when we started out, it was with George Bush as a president in America, and then it's sort of the post 9/11 things. And now we have seen quite a few different presidents, and also now things shifting again in Europe, and it's kind of covering that, of course, from a very personal point of view. But it's it's a very interesting side project for us. That's a big question. Yeah.
Yes, I think. Yeah, I think it's very important that we have people who make complex things visible, and maybe also make complex things visible in a more simple way that people can understand it. I think also that we can help people without a voice in a way, or without the knowledge or the skills, that we should should be aware that we are able to make it visible, to make it happen, to create a platform where these people can be seen and heard, or in what way or whatever. But
if you talk about like engagement amongst graphic designers, for instance, I think you have designers which are very they have a very strong opinion, and they make designs showing that opinion. Going back to the lawyer, which we talked about in the beginning, I think maybe we feel that it's more interesting to give, as a designer, that we facilitate that others can voice their opinion. That it's not so interesting because you make a question, what kind of topic do you want to work with? But it's not about our personal opinion, but it's about maybe making it possible for other people which are not designers, which don't have those tools to maybe reach out, but that you create something so that other people can actually voice their opinions. I think about graphic design being important. I think it is then important that graphic design becomes more than just graphic design. It has to be in collaboration with content, with a message, working with other people, other professions. So I think there's a trend now, definitely in branding, that is very much about kind of graphic styling, you could say. So without a real content, without a real idea or a story or something, it just looks great. And I think that is kind of you're seeing now that all the possibilities are kind of used up because it all looks like each other. So it begins with a good idea and with an interesting or relevant message, I think. And we, as graphic designers, can help to get that message out. That's for sure.
Yeah, and also to curate in all there are so many images, etc. And we can help to curate and narrow it down to a strong message, or also in that sense. Yeah.